How's it going, guys? My name is Rahel Razak, and my student number is 221-1421091. So today I'm going to be presenting to you guys about morphology, and what I hope from this presentation is that you can learn something out of it and you can understand what morphology actually is. So first, let's start with the definition of morphology. Morphology is a study and description of word formation, such as inflection, derivation, and compounding in language. The study of morphology analyzes the structures and parts of words, such as roots, stems, prefixes, suffixes, and morphemes. The two basic purposes of morphology are the creation of new words and modification of existing words. Next, what's a word? Word is a unit of language consisted of one or more morpheme that communicates or symbolizes a meaning. Words can be divided into two, which are content words and function words. What is content words? Content words are words that carries and communicates a certain meaning. These include nouns, which is person, places, or things, verbs, which is an action or state, adverbs, which describe how, where, or when something happens, and adjective, which describe objects, person, or things. Content words are considered open class words, meaning that new type of content words can be easily added anytime. Next is function words. Function words are words that specify grammatical or structural relations with a little or no semantical content. Function words are also called closed class words because there are rarely new function words are added to the dictionary. And the example of function words are articles, such for example like the, or and, auxiliaries, such as can, must, might, or will, demonstratives, such as this, these, that, and those, quantifiers, such as many, few, little, or some, prepositions, such as on, in, to, and from, pronouns, such as he, she, they, or it, and conjunctions, such as and, but, or, and, if. Next is morpheme. Morpheme is a meaningful morphological unit of language that cannot be further divided. In morpheme, there are free morpheme and bound morpheme. Free morpheme is a word that can stand alone as a word, while bound morpheme require the presence of another morpheme to be a word. For example, example of free morpheme is like, fortunate, and desire. Example of bound morpheme is the word in unlike, and the morpheme ly in fortunately, and the morpheme able in desirable. Next, how to identify morpheme. First, we have to identify the root word first. For example, here, the one morpheme is the word man, which is a root word. Then two morphemes, the example is manly, man plus ly. Three morphemes, manliness, man plus ly and ness. Four morphemes, gentlemanliness, gentle, man, ly, and ness. More than four is ungentlemanliness, which is ungentlemanliness. Next, affix. Affix is a bound, inflectional, or derivational element as a prefix, infix, or suffix added to a base or stem to form a fresh stem or a word. Examples of affixes are prefix, which is an affix added before the root of the word. For example, in unable, and then infix, which is an affix added in the middle of the root word and is rarely used in English. For example, passerby can be written in the plural form as passersby. And the last is suffix. Suffix is an affix added after the root word. For example, ly in quickly. Next, roots and stems. When an affix has been attached to a root word, it forms a stem, to which other affixes may attach. For example, the root word boy and attached the suffix ish became boyish, and boyish is a stem. And then boyish, the stem, may be attached by the suffix ness and became boyishness, which is a word. Here are another example. The root word kick added the suffix er became kicker, which is a stem. Kicker plus the suffix s became kickers. It's a word. Next is bound roots. Conroots do not occur in isolation and they require combination with another morpheme to be able to have meaning. For example, words of Latin origins like vitamin, vital, vivacious, and vivid shares the same root, which is viv or fit. That means life or to live. Latin roots does not have any independent meaning in English, thus their meaning depends on the entire word in which they appear. Next, inflectional morphemes. Inflectional morpheme is a morpheme that does not change the grammatical category of a stem or a word. Examples of inflectional morphemes are, first one is the morpheme s, which is used for third person singular present. For example, she waits. Second is the morpheme ed or et, which is used for past tense. For example, she waited. Third one is an, which is used for past participle. For example, like she has eaten. And then the morpheme ing, which is used for progressive. For example, like she is eating. Fifth is the morpheme s again, but this time it's used for plural. For example, like she ate the donuts. Sixth is the morpheme apostrophe s, which is used for possessive. For example, Lisa's hair is short. Seventh is the morpheme er, which is used for comparative. For example, Lisa has a shorter hair than Jill. Eighth is us, which is used for superlative. For example, like Lisa has the shortest hair. Next is derivational morphemes. Derivational morpheme is a morpheme that changes the meaning in the grammatical category of words. For example, to change noun to adjective, you can use the morpheme ish or us, like in boyish and virtuous. We can also use derivational morphemes to change verb to noun. For example, you can use the morpheme ens or in the word, like in the word clearance and singer. We can also change adjective to adverb by using the morpheme ly, such. For example, like in the word exactly. You can also change noun to verb. For example, like moralize, vaccinate. And also change adjective to noun by using the morpheme ness and down, like in the word tallness or freedom. And also verb to adjective by using the morpheme able or if, like in readable and creative. Next, there are other ways to process to form a word. For example, back formation. Back formation is a process of forming a new word or a lexeme by removing the actual or supposed affixes. For example, the word edit was derived from editor, and enthuse was derived from enthusiasm, and etc. Other than that is compound, which is a process of forming a new word by combining two or more root words. For example, homework, bittersweet, mother-in-law, three-time loser, and etc. So that wraps up my presentation for today, and I really hope that you can learn something and you can understand what morphology actually is. So thank you for your time, everyone.